What's up, everybody? Welcome to SLC Puck. I'm your host, Austin Facer. I feel like that pounding of the fist and SLC Puck had a lot more zhuzh on it right now. I'm fired up. What can I say? I'm excited. It's been an unbelievable day. It's June 25th, 2025. And you know why I'm so excited? It's birthday day for a couple of my favorite people in the world. I'm talking first and foremost, well, not foremost, but I'm talking about Mikhail Sergachev, who celebrated his birthday today. I hope he had a lovely ham and cheese omelet with some farm-raised eggs that he raised from his chickens. But I'd also like to extend a happy birthday to my nephew, Kevin, who's been a star on the show. SLC Puck, I don't know if you guys knew this. It's a twice-weekly show on all things hockey in the state of Utah. What it really is, though, is it's my nephew's retirement fund. He is going to inherit SLC Puck when he's of age. He turned 3 today. By the time he's my age, 33, we'll pass it off to him, and he'll take the reins from there. We're getting the reps in right now. He's watching every episode every day. He listens to it at bed. He'll be ready to go in the year 2055. But for now, you got me, Austin Facer, and thanks for tuning in. Super excited about what's going on. We're here. It's the week of the NHL Draft. The Utah Hockey Club picking 4th, trading the 4th overall pick. We don't frickin' know. Nobody knows. That's part of the fun. General Manager Bill Armstrong had his last media availability before the draft the other day. We'll listen to some audio from that, and I'll give you some thoughts on what I think he's saying, what I think he's not saying as well. But hey, again, thank you guys so much for tuning into SLC Puck. I love you. I really do. And if you love me back, I got a great way for you to support the show. You could go to bigtuskenergy.com or slcpuck.shop. It's the founding herd sale for Bigtus Energy. That's the lifestyle brand that's powering SLC Puck. Look at all this great stuff we got. We got tanks, hats. I'm wearing a hat right now. A bucket hat even. Crop top for the ladies or for the fellas with nice abs or not. Who cares? Stickers, hats, all this good stuff. Everything you see on bigtuskenergy.com, this landing page right here, $25 or less. And tell you what, you buy something, I'll send you a very nice video to thank you. But yes, we are here. Oh, and I just want to acknowledge one thing. My last episode, I talked about how Brad Marchand would be an excellent addition for the Utah Hockey Club. I keep saying that. They're the Utah Mammoth now. The Utah Mammoth, obviously coming off of a Dairy Queen-fueled run to the Stanley Cup. I lamented that Dairy Queen in Centerville is long gone. That was a staple of our community. But someone in the comments very kindly reminded me that Iceberg is still very much in the equation here in Utah. And Iceberg is delicious. They even sell it at the arena at Delta Center. So I think it would be simple for them to whip up a little shake and run it down to the locker room for the Rats. So again, it just makes sense, guys. It just makes sense. And allegedly the Utah Mammoth are in the runnings to sign Mr. Marchand to a deal. So we'll continue to monitor that as that happens. But hey, what we're talking about this week is the thing that I've avoided really talking that much about because I think a lot of the conversation is going to end up looking like a big waste of time at the end of the day. I'm referring to the NHL Draft, which is this Friday in Los Angeles, California. Utah Hockey Club jumped from the 14th position in the pre-lottery standings to 4th. Thanks to some good fortune, some good ping pong ball action. By the way, I'm talking to you guys on Wednesday, the 25th. Utah Jazz had their shot at the podium in the NBA draft, and they had a bit of good fortune as well as Ace Bailey, who was projected to go 2nd or 3rd in the draft, fell to them at 5th. So a little bit of good fortune there for the Jazz, who finished with the worst record in the NBA last year, but still got the 2nd or 3rd best prospect in the draft. Maybe we'll see. Time will tell. But Utah Mammoth, the NHL boys, the guys who play on the frozen surface, not the hardwood, the ice. They're going to take a chance at making a selection at 4th overall or not. Again, that's been the incredible thing about this discussion that, again, I've been avoiding for the most part, but dipping my toe into a little bit, is that nobody has any frickin' clue what the Utah Mammoth are going to do at 4th. It's just so wide open. It's so opaque as to their plans. They're being very intentionally vague. When I say they, I'm referring to Team Brass, led by Bill Armstrong, who, by the way, And I mean this so much as a compliment because I think he's doing his job perfectly, correctly, exactly. He's trying to extract as much value out of this pick as possible. It does not behoove the Utah Mammoth to reveal their intentions to anyone. I don't know if you've ever, there's this great book by Robert Greene, I think is his name. It's called The 48 Laws of Power, and it has all these different little Machiavellian techniques to, like, you know, acquire power in this world. And I might be paraphrasing, but I think the crux of a lot of these is like, hey, don't frickin' tell anybody what you're actually planning on doing. That diminishes your power. And that's exactly what Bill Armstrong has done. And it's kind of amazing. He's putting on a masterclass in communication, in vague communication that answers questions very politely, but doesn't really give any real information. That's kind of the tail of the tape with his last few media availabilities. And I'll play some audio from it. But again, it's been pretty amazing. You listen to a lot of the guys who have been plugged into the NHL for quite a while, who don't podcast out of a basement and who have been doing this much longer than I, and they're just as befuddled as me. And so I'm not going to pretend like I have any idea what the Utah Mammoth are going to do. I think we've seen some interesting names, some prospects being floated out. Porter Martone, big right winger, has been one of them. Caleb Desnois, the French-Canadian winger, has also been mentioned. He might be a center too. Anton Frundell, who is the top-rated international prospect. We don't know. With James Hagan, who at one point was considered to be the runaway first overall pick, he might be available at 4, or they might just trade out of it and get some immediate help. There are teams who are looking to shop some guys who would probably be very interested in this 4th overall pick. We just don't know because the information is not being let out. It's airtight. It's being bottled up really well. And let's not forget, though, I mean, the Utah Mammoth last year as the Utah Hockey Club showed that they are definitely willing to pull the trigger when trades come along on draft night. They made 3 trades last year in Vegas at the Sphere, which looked awesome, by the way, the Sphere. If any of you guys have been to the Sphere and seen a show, let me know. I'd love to hop down there and see. What would be what movie would you like to see at the Sphere? The Wizard of Oz. They're doing it. They're doing the Wizard of Oz there. That's actually kind of like a dark horse, really good one. Wow. Okay. You know, I wish they were doing the draft there this year. They could watch the Wizard of Oz between picks. That'd be fun. But they're doing it in LA. Kind of interesting. Let me just tell you about what they're doing. It's kind of like it's a decentralized draft. So everybody's kind of going to be in their home market. It's all going to be done like virtually in a way. So not nearly as fun. You know, we'll see how that affects like how things happen. Cause I think a lot of times when they have the centralized draft and you see, you know, the teams kind of, you know, conspiring around the table or making phone calls, you know, you can pick up some hints that way. Not going to be the case in a decentralized draft in Los Angeles where they're having the podium, but still it should be a lot of fun. But again, we don't know. We don't have any clue what Bill Armstrong is going to say. And here's how I know. I mean, just listen to this answer that he gave to a question from Belle Fraser, the Salt Lake Tribune. She asked him if they have any willingness to trade the pick, if they've been fielding any offers. And again, Bill Armstrong, just a masterclass in very politely taking the question and not giving like an answer of substance, which is his job.
Hey, Bill. At this point, how open do you remain or not remain about moving the 4th pick, and have you fielded any offers leading up to the draft?
Well, yes, and listen, at this process, every GM, especially the guys that are in the top 10, are all jockeying around and seeing, can they move up, can they move down, what's the best option for their club, and we talk on with GMs daily about that, and everybody's got the price. It's very rare that it's done that, you know, you could move from 4 to 2 or 2 to 1. You know, it's very rare that happens because everybody values the player that they have at that pick, and it's very rare that it does change hands. But do you have to explore it? Yes, that's part of my job. Every morning I wake up and go to work and see if we can better the pick or if we can come up with different options to maximize where we are.
Awesome. So great stuff there from Bill Armstrong. He's saying, listen, we're talking trades. Everybody's talking trades, right? I don't know if you guys knew this or not. There are also 31 other general managers around the National Hockey League who are interested in extracting the maximum value out of their draft position, whether by trade or by making a good pick. And again, you listen to the national discussion on what the Mammoth could do. It's so unclear. You know, they have some guys that they're interested in who might be available in that position. Brady Martin's another one that I forgot to mention earlier. He's the farm strong boy. You know, I've never been in a weight room. I lift bales of hay all day, and I skate on rollerblades in my barn. And that kid's going to be probably a top 5, maybe a top 7 selection. He might be a Utah Mammoth. But again, I sort of get the feeling, and I'm just basing this on last year's draft night trade, which brought Mikhail Sergachev, the birthday boy, to Utah. They kind of have a little bit of a flair for the dramatic. And I think we kind of saw this in the NBA draft as well, where I think so much of what happens on draft night is just a lot of taking what the defense, what the other teams give you, you know, and adjusting your plans accordingly. They might have all these different scenarios mapped out on their board, right? I think Mike Folta explained it like in a really funny way. You know, imagine the movie War Games, where there's all these different scenarios in play, and they're just going to have to react to what happens. I mean, the Utah Jazz did that. I mean, I don't know if the Jazz expected Ace Bailey to be available to them at pick number 5 tonight. He refused to have a workout with the team, so I think they kind of thought, you know, this guy's he's one of the best prospects in this draft, but you know, it's not in the cards for us. Oh wait, he is available. All right, let's take him. And so I think we could see something like that happen very similarly for the Utah Mammoth. I mean, just to recap what's going to be the first 4 picks, the Islanders, they also had a stroke of good fortune. They jumped up to the number 1 overall pick. They might keep it. They might not. The San Jose Sharks, if New York keeps it, I should say, they're probably going to take Matthew Schaefer. And it might get interesting right here around pick 2, the second pick. We don't have to wait long for it to get interesting, because someone was saying they're not sure if Michael Misa, who's long been tied to the second overall pick, is going to go to San Jose. And then Chicago, who knows what the heck they're going to do? There's just it's so crazy, it's so unpredictable. We saw Beckett Seneke go to Anaheim at 3 last year, and he was shocked. I don't know if you remember his reaction. Even he was stunned that he went 3rd overall. So I think once Chicago picks at 3, if Utah hasn't already traded the pick, it's going to get really interesting. I think Utah is going to read what's already happened in the room, in the decentralized draft, and make a plan accordingly. They might make a phone call to one of these teams that they've already, you know, maybe planted a seed with. They're like, hey, you know, our guy's not really here anymore. You know, I'm sure there's a lot of great, like that Brady Martin's on the table. You know, would you guys be interested in picking him up? Yeah, we'd love to. Well, you know, send something our way and we'll let you have him. You know, that could totally happen. But again, it's so unpredictable. And I've seen such a lack of a unified consensus in any idea what the Utah Mammoth could do. It seems pretty split among the national pundits. Let's just roll the dice and see how it goes. We'll wait and see. I think it's going to be still a lot of fun. I think ultimately we know this. There's going to be a few new names associated with the Utah Mammoth this week, so I'm excited to see who that is. We'll talk about who these new faces are going to be on our next episode. Hey guys, so sorry to interrupt. I just want to remind you once again about the incredible giveaway that we've had going on with our good friends at Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for a while now. We've been giving out winners for gift cards, $250 gift cards to either one of those locations for quite a few months right now. We've been doing it throughout the summer. We're going to continue to do it through August. Very exciting. I know a lot of you guys are headed to weddings, or you know, maybe just want to get something for someone anyway, and you want to save some money. It's a tight economy. I don't blame you. This is a great way to do it. But you don't have to wait to win a gift card to do it. Even by just mentioning SLC Puck at either one of these locations, Payne Anthony, that's at Trolley Square. Jonathan's Jewelry is up in Cottonwood Heights. Walk in there. Just say, hey, I'm an SLC Puck listener. Boom, $100 off your purchase, just like that. It's easy. All right, so all you got to do to enter the raffle, though, is just scan this QR code, hit send on the message, and you're in it. You'll get a message if you win. If you haven't won, you're still in the raffle. Keep going, baby. Grab someone else's phone. Enter that baby in. It's easy. It's all you got to do. So I want to give a big thanks to Payne Anthony Creative Jewelers and Jonathan's Jewelry for their support of SLC Puck. Thank you for letting me indulge the sponsors for a moment. And now let's get back to the show. On Sunday, but since we last spoke last Sunday, there has been a big development in the Utah hockey world, and for a lot of people, it's news that like it stings a little bit. It's actually kind of like for me like a little bit emotional to talk about this. It's hard to say goodbye to something that's been in the community for so long. I mean, the Dairy Queen in Centerville is such a great example of something that was around for decades and shuttered up and is now a Chipotle. We're gonna see the hockey version of Dairy Queen shutter its doors in Utah. It looks like it was announced by the Utah Grizzlies this week that they are exploring a sale of a team. The ownership group, I believe, owned by the Elmore Group, longtime owners. And I'll just pull up the press release right here just so I can read it verbatim. This was announced on the 22nd. The Utah Grizzlies, and I'll pull it up right here on Pucko Vision for you. The Utah Grizzlies announced today that the organization has begun a formal process to explore the potential sale of the team, a path that could ultimately lead to the relocation of the franchise. So just that was the lead paragraph here. This step comes with deep reflection, heartfelt appreciation for a community that has embraced the Grizzlies for nearly 3 decades. This is going to be their 30th year in Utah this year. They came over ahead of the 1995-1996 season and won the Turner Cup in the International Hockey League that year. So yeah, I mean, the ownership's just having a hard time. David Elmore, longtime owner, passed in 2023. Don Tuttle, his wife and co-owner, they've had a hard time staying involved. Elmore Sports Group is looking into a sale. And again, this is a very alarming press release. And you know, it sort of raises a lot of questions. I've been saying this for months now, almost a whole year, that I really think the Smith Entertainment Group should look into purchasing the Utah Grizzlies and finding a way to either, you know, bring them into the fold as the team's ECHL affiliate. By the team, I mean the Utah Mammoth, or move them up to the AHL, which would be kind of an interesting process. But I want to go to a different source, and you know me, I love crediting sources for the best possible information on this. Jay Stevens, who runs Utah Puck Report for KSL Sports, is probably has the best possible information on this. In addition to doing that podcast for KSL Sports, he also has been associated with the Grizzlies for years as the team's emergency backup goalie. He's probably spent more time in the Maverick Center than any other human being on earth. So I would like to think he has more information than anybody else. So on his Facebook page, he has a really great story here, a nice write-up that he did a couple days ago. So I'm just going to jump around and read some paragraphs here from Jay Stevens. The Utah Grizzlies, stable the ECHL and the Wasatch Front's hockey scene for 3 decades, is up for sale with plans to relocate following the 2025-2026 season. This announcement marks the end of an era for the Grizzlies, blah, 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 blah. And not to say it's not good writing, but here we go, just jumping ahead. The sale and impending move comes as a surprise with so many rumors about an eventual affiliation at some level with the Utah Mammoth, and at a time when the Utah hockey landscape is evolving. Sources close to the situation indicate that a new ownership group leading the effort to purchase the team would relocate it to Trenton, New Jersey. Trenton has been eager for professional hockey's return since the ECHL's Trenton Titans folded in 2013. As of now, there are no plans to have hockey in the Maverick Center after this season. So this seems like legit. This seems like the real deal that the Utah Grizzlies, it sounds like the ownership group, the Elmore Sports Group, does not have a ton of interest in selling to Smith Entertainment Group unless they swoop in and make an offer they can't refuse. It seems like Jay has some good sources that indicate this team is headed east to New Jersey, which, by the way, is where all the criminals live, by the way. I don't know if you've seen The Sopranos, any of the great mob movies that I love, but that's where they all live, is Trenton, New Jersey. So we wish the organization well out there after this season. But it's going to be really interesting to see how this situation plays out. I don't know nearly as much as Jay, but I think what I'm imagining now is seeing this situation develop in a different way. I still really firmly believe that the Maverick Center is in some way a super crucial part of the future of hockey in Utah, and I still think there's got to be a connection there with Smith Entertainment Group. I just see it maybe unfolding a little bit differently now with this new information coming to light. It seems like we might see a scenario again. I don't know anything, but it seems like we might see a situation where the Utah Grizzlies are sold to this group from Trenton. They move it over there. They call themselves the Titans again, or the Mobsters, or the Stranglers, or whatever they want to call themselves. And from there, the Maverick Center is just going to sit empty with maybe just a few concerts every year, some events. And at that point, I think Ryan Smith will see the opportunity, Smith Entertainment Group will see the opportunity to purchase the building from West Valley City for pennies on the dollar before it decays and becomes, it endures the same fate that Hollywood Connection across the parking lot suffered. I don't think West Valley wants to see that happen again. So I think you'll see, again, just a prediction, I think you'll see Smith Entertainment Group buy it after it goes vacant for a little bit, and then they'll install their own AHL team. We know that they're currently affiliated with the Tucson Roadrunners. They're moving up to Reno, however, to be in a new arena. So I don't know how involved they want to continue to be with the Roadrunners, who are owned by the Marullo family, the former owner of the Coyotes, and they show that they're kind of a bunch of buffoons. So I think that they're going to look to have their own AHL affiliate, and maybe one they'll own in-house. And again, for me, it's always made so much sense for SEG to buy the Maverick Center and bring it into their sports portfolio. The Salt Lake City Stars, the NBA G League, already play there. I think for Smith Entertainment Group, it just makes a ton of sense to have their own minor league hockey team there as well. And that makes the Maverick Center like a destination for families who live on the west side, or maybe like just of all shapes and sizes and backgrounds in life, who maybe can't afford to get to a Utah Mammoth game at Delta Center, to go to the Maverick Center, enjoy some like really high level basketball and hockey at a way more affordable price. We've seen this work in other NHL markets. The Vegas Golden Knights have their AHL affiliate in nearby Henderson, and that's a great option for families out there. I believe tickets to see the Henderson Silver Knights are like $10. Like it's just really affordable. Really, it's like top of the funnel, as my friend Michael Wolf put it, way to get families in the door for hockey in Utah. So I think the situation that I've forecasted is still, in 5 years from now, we could see it coming together, but I do think it's going to come together in a slightly different way now. And I think we might see an empty Maverick Center for a little bit. But again, like the Grizzlies are such a fundamental part of hockey in Utah. Hockey doesn't happen in Utah without the Utah Grizzlies. The NHL doesn't happen in Utah without the Utah Grizzlies and the Maverick Center. I mean, that building has housed some unbelievable games. I did episodes last summer about the greatest hockey game ever played in Utah, which was the 2002 gold medal game between the United States and Canada. The Lucky Looney autographing the locker room walls. That building is just priceless in terms of hockey history. It's so important. It would be such a shame to see something negative happen to it in a way that destroys that hockey history. I think there's a lot you can build there with the community. And it's sad that I think we might have to bid adieu to the Grizzlies, or at least this current iteration. There have been a few different versions of the Grizzlies over the years. There was the IHL Grizzlies, who came here from Denver 30 years ago. They moved to the AHL. They folded after a little bit, and then were brought back as the ECHL Grizzlies. So the Grizzlies have had different iterations over the years. So like this is just, again, like the end of one chapter, hopefully the start of another. I did this whole episode last summer. I would encourage you guys to go back and check it out. Hockey history, Utah's year one champs, the Utah Grizzlies, about the Grizzlies' first year here in Utah when they won the IHL championship at Delta Center with an overtime victory over the Orlando Solar Bears in Game 4 of the finals. And I mean, gosh, look at how far we've come since that episode. The facial hair is completely different. Why did no one say anything to me about the beard? The beard looks horrific. I think right now, my current look, it's a little more Paul Bissonnette. It's a little more, hockey player-esque. It's a much better vibe. Truly horrific to look at these images from last year and just see what I thought was cool. But yeah, we've come a long way. And that's kind of fun, right? That SLC Puck hat, that was the first hat I did. I didn't sell very many of these. We moved to the SLC Puck upside down hat, which I will retire, and now we have the Bigtus Energy hat as well. So again, like the Grizzlies are a huge part of Utah's hockey history. We've got Grisby right here in bobblehead form. I think there's another Grisby right here up on the wall. So a little bit heartbreaking. I just, maybe I shouldn't, blow the lid on this quite yet, but I'm in discussions with the Grizzlies just to see how we can work together. And I'm sure that they're going to put together some promotions and offerings and memorable evenings to send the team off in style if they are to leave, and that's what all reports are indicating. So stay tuned for that. Hopefully I'll have some exciting announcements on how we can help the Grizzlies celebrate a great run here in Utah. And hopefully we'll have more updates here for the future of minor league hockey in Utah, because it's pretty dang important, if you ask me. But thank you guys so much for tuning in to SLC Puck. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday after the NHL Draft, hopefully with lots to talk about, trades, new players, new prospects. We'll just have to wait and see. But in the meantime, you can follow me at SLC Puck on all the platforms, slcpuck.com. Working on some exciting, an exciting new development for the newsletter here pretty soon. So I'm excited, and we'll just have to see how it goes. We'll talk to you guys on Sunday. We'll see you then.